Hey everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point. And some of you had asked me some questions on my video where I talked about the verdict in the Kelly case that came down last week. And so I now have answers to some of those questions, and we will get to those in a second. So first, you all were asking me how much time was he facing with the Chicago convictions. And I had given you all what the justice.org website stated, which was basically 5 to 20 years on a couple of the charges, 15 to 30 years in other charges. But when you total everything together, the minimum amount of time he can receive is 10 years and the maximum is 90 years. And you all may have heard that the prosecutors are going to ask Judge Weber to whatever sentence that he imposes on Mr. Kelly, that it be consecutive, which means that it'll be on top of the 30-year sentence that he received in New York. And so they're asking him not to run it concurrently, meaning that he would serve it at the same time. And we know that Judge Weber can go either way, because he really didn't seem to be, I thought he was fair and balanced throughout the trial with the calls that he made. And so he has set sentencing for February 23rd. And I'm really not sure. I mean, like, this has really got to be political because I really don't understand why they are going so hard after this man when we see every day in the newspaper people being charged with the exact same thing and they get 5 years, 10 years, but for some reason they want this man to die in prison, which is really crazy to me when you consider the entire case in his totality and how all of these women were pursuing him. He was not pursuing any of them. In every single instance, their parents sent their teenage daughters to him. And so there doesn't seem to be any accountability for the parents whatsoever, for the fact that, you know, even when these young women moved beyond the age of consent of 17, became adults, that they were still pursuing him, still wanting to be in relationships with him. And nobody seems to want to take that into account. And then another thing, Kim Foxx was asked whether or not she is going to move forward with her case. And she said that she doesn't know yet what she's going to do, whether or not she is going to move forward. And you guys remember the Cook County case, which is in Illinois, consists of Rashona Landfair, who was part of the Northern District of Illinois case, Geronda Pace, who we all know is a pathological liar, and she was a part of the Eastern District of New York case. And then you have Heather Williams, who has already sued him and was awarded a default judgment of $4 million. And Lanita Carter, who was the hair braider, who the Cook County or the Illinois Police Department, Chicago Police Department, had already said she didn't have enough evidence for charges against Mr. Kelly, but somehow she convinced Kim Foxx of her story. And she also is somebody who's claiming to have a shirt with Mr. Kelly's semen on it, but we know that she could have gotten that because she claimed she ran in the bathroom and locked the door, so she could have got that out the laundry. But anyway, Kim Foxx says she's trying to decide what she is going to do, whether or not she is going to move forward. And I guess they talked to some law professors who says that even if Cook County were to go forward with their case, I guess Rashona portion of the case wouldn't be double jeopardy, because I'm assuming that they're charging him with something other than what he was charged with in the 2008 case, which they can definitely do. And, for those of you who keep talking about double jeopardy, I did a video on why this stuff is not double jeopardy. And I'll try to remember to drop the link above if you guys want to check that out. And then people keep saying that Minnesota case has been dropped. And I keep telling y'all, I can't find nothing that says that Minnesota case has been dropped. And so the Minnesota state's attorney is basically saying that case is still alive, and that they have decided that they are going to wait until Mr. Kelly has exhausted all of his appeals on the federal cases before they decide whether or not to move forward with their prosecution. And remember, that involves some individual who claims that she met Mr. Kelly at a concert or something, or she was trying to get into the concert, but she wasn't old enough to buy a ticket, and he told her to come to some hotel room, and then she danced for him naked or some child, I don't know. Anyway, and then I guess Drea, she's still trying to collect that child support. She needs to let it go and just move on with her OnlyFans portion. And then the article that I was reading is from the Chicago Sun-Times. I'm sorry. And then they talked about the civil lawsuits and things that are going on. And basically, Sony is still holding on, has still frozen all of his royalties. And despite what people are saying about Keith, and Keith is spending all his money, Sony has frozen Mr. Kelly's royalties since 2019. So Keith is not getting his royalties, is not getting any money to be spending on anything. Sony is holding on to that money and waiting until whatever legal battle is going on between Heather Williams and the Midwest Properties, commercial properties, the ones that own the studio. I guess they are still fighting it out. Although I thought earlier this year that a judge had ruled that they ruled in Heather Williams' favor, that she was entitled to collect the royalties first before the Midwest Properties, because I guess the Midwest Properties people, they knew somebody that worked at Sony, and they sent that person an email, sent that lawyer with Sony an email that they were going to drop off their legal paperwork to garnish the royalties. But then the judge ruled that email was not a legal notice and did not supersede the actual paperwork that Heather Williams had mailed to Sony or hand delivered to Sony, certifying that she had made the first claim. And so Sony is saying that they're still fighting over that money, and they haven't released any money. And so we'll see how that plays out. But that is the latest, you guys. Kim Fox hopefully will get voted out of office soon, and then the next person to come up will be like, child, we're not doing this. But she's still trying to hold on to, being a part of the takedown of R. Kelly. And then Minnesota says that they are going to wait until the federal cases have concluded and any appeals before they move forward with their prosecution. And then we know that Jennifer Bongine, the other thing, Judge Donnelly ruled in favor of the prosecution, of the Eastern District of New York, that they could seize his $27,000. And so Jennifer Bongine said that'll just be one more thing she'll have to appeal with these people. And that's it. Like, for whatever reason, they just want to take this man through the mud and back. I don't understand it. But, that's what evil does. And so that's it for me. Just wanted to give you guys this quick update. Go ahead, leave your comments below, rate the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.